Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Mental Health Mentor, which is a meetup group that I established as well as lead. If I'm going to post on Meetup that we are live, let's see if there's a place I can send notifications. I will let all of our Meetup people know we're live and that this is our show. We're starting our first one as of today, which is April 29th, 2025. Amazing. So, okay, now we'll actually get on to discussing about the leptin theory. The leptin theory is a particular book we are going through where we are studying personal development, mental health, and overall ways to improve our quality of life. Those of us with mental illnesses, regardless of which one it is, we have something in common, which is that our quality of life is often impaired by the episodes, condition, and different struggles or issues, or if you want to call it difficulties that we have because of the condition. A lot of times we're not understood by other people. We're judged that we're just being angry or something else of that nature. That is not at all what's going on with us. Not to say we don't have anger and we don't need to resolve it, neither do we need to treat it, but that's only part of the many layers of the onion of mental health. For those of you who have not been following me on YouTube lately, you may not be aware that in a matter of 3 to 4 weeks, I'm starting to work on my associate's degree in psychology since I'm doing so much in mental health. I decided part of where I'm going to improve my own mental health is to improve my knowledge and understanding of it through getting an associate's degree. Now, I do already have a master's and a bachelor's in accounting, but accounting is not where I ended up working, as you all know. I write books, I do podcasting, and none of that's accounting. Not to say there's not accounting to my business where I have to keep track of the money, the expenses, the income, etc. It's useful, but it's not my trade. And I'm trying to get what is more applicable to my trade that is also applicable to my personal goals and health goals, such as improving my mental health and also bringing about change to help improve the lives of those of you who are watching at any point in time or who may join us on Meetup, where you can pay a nominal fee of $45 each session to join live and ask me questions. However, I'm going to carry on with this particular class that's on each Tuesday right now. And I started it, today's the first one we actually gone live, which is then again, April 29th of 2025. This class is on Meetup on Tuesdays at 3:30 Central. Sometimes it's between 3:30 and 3:45 before I actually get the live streaming going. But either way, that's what this class is. And this one is on Tuesdays. We're working through the lectin theory. And right now, my assistant is working on making a link where you'll be able to get your own copy of the book, whether you choose to do paper or ebook or audiobook. It's available in all three forms. However, we have not yet got the link. And I'm going to be soon to put it out on the YouTube video as well. And soon these videos should also be on my social media if you like to follow Giles Coffee Chat on Facebook or LinkedIn or another place as well. And you can also follow on Instagram with Jennifer A. Whitaker Books. Anyway, so I'm out there as both an author, so I have social medias I have to do with Jennifer A. Whitaker Books or Books by Jennifer A. Whitaker. And then I have my podcast, Giles Coffee Chat. So that's where I have two different names. That's where many of my social medias have two different, some form of two different names. Okay, so the lectin theory is good for those of us that have not so healthy families, or maybe it's not necessarily family, but it's not so healthy environments created by the people we are surrounded by, whether it's friends, it's neighbors, people you go to church with, people you go to the synagogue with, people you go to the gym with, wherever you go. If it's not family, there's some kind of group of people, many of us with mental illnesses, that basically get on their nerves and stress us out. In the lectin theory, we're talking about and reading about identifying that those certain people. And the first thing is to understand, one, with chapter 1, it says, stop wasting your life on things you cannot control. If somebody else has a problem with who you are, just let them. That's what you say, let them. Let them worry about it. Let them say whatever they want. But you do not have to listen. You do not have to obey or even let a single drop of tear or other emotion pull on you because of what they say. You could, yes, be in the same room, be bothered by it, but also ignore them. And then try intentionally thinking positive thoughts in your own mind, even if it's around people that you can't control because you're maybe in their house. So you can't tell them to be quiet because it's not the right manners for being in someone else's place. But also, if it's someone else's place, then unless it's family, you probably can remove yourself and realize that's not the person you want to hang out with anymore. And it's not somebody you want to keep at your social circle. So that's part of what we're looking at. Trying to keep peace with your family so you can still have them. Yes, that's what we try to do so we can have family. But if we have a toxic family, a family that's unhealthy and doesn't treat us well, sometimes it can be better to just have an adopted family. Like how I spent Christmas, New Year's, and Thanksgiving in 24 / New Year's, that was January 1st of 25. I spent that season with my best friend and her family, and they loved me and adored me and welcomed me. And that's not what I get with my own family. I get negativity from my own family. And for those of us who get some kind of negativity, it doesn't have to be abuse. It can just be negative. It can be downward spiraling talking. It can be insults. It can be anything negative. You can make friends and even let them know that you want to spend holidays or your birthday or something else with a new family and find a new family. And more than likely, they will probably invite you to spend some of that, if not all of that time with them and their family, especially if they're a best friend that really cares about you and you've known for a long time. But also with that, you want to consider, who are these friends? What kind of friends are they? Do they really care about you, or are they trying to use you for your money or something else they can get out of you? In that case, no, those are not the friends you'd want to spend your holidays or any other off days and personal time with. But you'd rather, in that case, evaluate the friends you have to determine who you need to replace, and then get out in social events. Like I have a coffee group I go to at my gym, where it's all of us who have the Medicare and Medicaid plans of the gym membership because we have Medicare and Medicaid insurance. And so we all get in a social group during the day. It's Tuesdays at 10 a.m. That's in the cafe inside of our gym. And we all socialize. It's people of all ages, because whether they're seniors or they're disabled, or there's someone who works contract like myself. So Medicaid or Medicare is the only way you can get insurance since you work contract. But still, we're people with that common ground. That's why we have the discounted membership fee, and why many of us have a lot less work or we don't work at all. For me, you know what I do. So I do work, but I have flexibility. I can alternate my schedule. And so I use my flexibility with my work to arrange it where I can make that 10 o'clock social event. And I go there to network with different new people I meet. As a group grows, there's always somebody new that's coming to that, and some other opportunity for me to meet somebody I didn't already know or meet. And that helps me broaden my social circle. That helps me get more support, emotional, mental health support. Sometimes we connect on religion, so there's spiritual support. If you actually talk to other people, that if you meet new people about what is your spiritual life, what's your faith, then you could expand on that as well. And find people that aren't necessarily in a church or a synagogue, but they're people that have some common ground. That could be anything from the workout you do, because you're all at the gym, to the coffee group, to all of coffee, to discovering other things, that just by talking to them about things you like and asking them about what they like. And it doesn't have to be at your gym. I mean, not everybody goes to the gym. I understand that. But wherever is a place you like to hang out. Like for me, before I joined the gym, it was always Starbucks. And so I talked to other people that were regulars at Starbucks. And I get to know them, and I'd ask them what they do, what kind of work do they do. And sometimes find out they're retired. Other times I'll find out they're contractors like me, so they have flexibility and they spend their breaks there. Other times I'll find out they're people that are disabled and can't work, so they go there to read a book or to socialize or something else that's just having something to do with their time besides sitting at home and watching TV. So there's all kinds of people in all kinds of places where you can go to meet. You just have to be willing to speak up, talk to other people, ask questions, try meeting new people. But that first starts with understanding what kind of people you want to attract and what kind of people you do not. And one of the things, talking about the family, if you have a negative family or a toxic family, it may seem no matter how much you bend backwards, your family or other people in your life are not happy. Well, accept the fact and say to yourself, I cannot control their mood, day, or actions. And that's reality. You cannot. And neither is it your responsibility to control their mood, day, or actions. You are only responsible for you. And because you are only responsible for yourself, maybe you have kids, maybe there's others like your spouse that you care about, or a girlfriend or boyfriend, or somebody else you care about. But look at only those that are the only ones you really need to care about. Because see, if you have family like I do that is negative and talks down to you and belittles you, especially if you're an adult, you don't need them. And like if you say you do because of financial reasons, there are nonprofits that will help pay all your necessities. You have to go out and seek them, look up the different nonprofits, and look up nonprofits that supply free and then whatever you need, free food, or nonprofit programs that help pay rent, or whatever else it is you need. And go and apply it. Yes, it takes paperwork, which takes time, but it's worth it when they start paying your bills and you don't have to worry about going without your necessities just because maybe you only have a $900 Social Security check, or you only have a $600 disability check or something like that. You can still sustain your livelihood through all these programs. No, you will not have necessarily fun stuff or fun money to spend going out to places like Starbucks, but even a gym, I got that through my Medicare plan. And my Medicare Advantage plan I got because I had Medicare and Medicaid is how I paid for my gym. So that was one thing I did find as a resource I could get by going through these different resources that are available for those who are low income. Now, I really was low income at one point, but all of you who watch my channel and who may know me as an author, I have been working hard and coming up with ideas, getting innovative, creative, and that's how I come up with ideas. It's how I'm now working. So even if you're like me and you were on disability at one point, that's not where you have to stay. You can go through treatment. That's the first step. Look for ways to improve. Working with your healthcare providers, getting physical therapy, everything you need. For me, one of the things was brain surgery. But still, I went and I got what I needed so I could live the life I wanted on my own. And then I went through those programs. And then once I got the programs to establish my necessities, I started getting out there to try working. And now getting back to leptin theory, all these are things and reasons that people have belittled me, but more particularly my family and certain people that they influence and know, with manipulating different lies about me. So for those of us that have those certain family, what should we do? We should focus on the one thing you can control, which is yourself. So what does the leptin theory mean? Freedom for trying to manage, freedom from trying to manage or please other people. You have the freedom. You do not have to manage or please other people. Focus on yourself. If you have family, like kids or a spouse, talk and get mutual ground to focus on what you control and what you have an impact on and what's your responsibility. But don't worry about your parents or your siblings or somebody else once you're an adult. If they don't like you for who you are, you don't need them. And that's not saying necessarily that they're bad people, but we are like what we surround ourselves by. If we surround ourselves by people that are unhealthy and negative, we tend to get to be more unhealthy and negative ourselves, which depletes our energy. We're less productive in our job, or possibly like at a point I was with a toxic situation that I couldn't work at all. And that's what put me on disability at one point. Now I worked through this process, and that's how I got off of it, as well as other processes I'll teach you through our other studies. I have 4 studies going on right now. Today is the lectin theory. That's each Tuesday. And there's on Mondays, the joy of missing out. On the 3 of us Wednesday or Thursday, one of them, we have a minimalist home study that's about getting rid of clutter and other things that cause stress and burden, versus the joy of missing out is getting rid of the negative things and stress and work. And all these are different things to help factor into getting you a healthier mental life and overall better mental health, to have a better quality of life, whether it's home, work, health, family, the job, whatever it is. We're working on all of these through different book studies. We have 4 studies going on right now. And I'll be discussing the next one the same way tomorrow. And I'm going to check to see if anybody has joined. Let's see if there's anybody besides myself. No, okay. So everybody who's watching, you're probably still on YouTube watching, or maybe another social media. But thank you for watching. And no one has actually joined the group. I'm going to see if I can put an invitation in the YouTube chat before I carry on. Give me a moment to check the YouTube description. I'll put a way that you can join in case you're interested in talking to me and not just listening. No, the link is not out there. So I'm going to get the link from my Zoom. And there you go, everybody. Now I have released on YouTube, register in advance or right now to join this meeting. And that's the link where you can join me on this. It's in the description of the video. and I will continue talking on the topic. Okay, you have got this squared away now on YouTube. Okay, so carrying on, thank you so much for letting me pause there to make this available for those of you who are on YouTube or social media who may want to also join and not just those on Meetup. However, I'll also, now that I say that, I'm going to make this link on YouTube available on our Meetup event. For those of you who are on Meetup, okay then. Thank you once more. I just now got the link sent out on Meetup. And for those of you who know me on YouTube, you can go to meetup.com and look for Mental Health Mentor. That's me, also known as Jennifer A. Whitaker. It's an online group, so no matter where you're located, you can join this if you want to actually talk to me and interact with me and ask me questions, as I'm a mentor and advocate for mental health. Now carrying on. So we talked about how the lesson theory is freedom from trying to manage or please other people. One example I got was, if your dad is complaining about your decisions in life, then say, let them, and don't listen or give weight to what he says. It will reserve your time, focus, and energy. And you want to instead reserve your time, focus, and energy for what matters to you. Whether you chose to go to college or not, if your parents are making a big deal about that and complaining you're an adult, say let them. Don't let it weigh you down. Don't listen to them. If you're somewhere that's not your own home, go ahead and leave. And that's when you consider that person's not necessarily healthy for you. As long as you're making it in life, you're independent, you're making ends meet, you're living healthy, you're not doing drugs or alcohol or anything, then you're right to do what you want as long as it obeys the law and is what's best you believe is best for you. But that doesn't mean someone who's a drug addict or an alcoholic should keep doing drugs or alcohol, because that is not what's best, and it's shown by science that is not healthy for our brains. And often that's why people have mental illnesses. The mental illness was not why they became a drug addict or an alcoholic. The drug and alcohol is what caused them to be mentally ill. There's a scientific proven connection there. And so that's why I say living life the way that you believe is best, but not when it's something like that that's proven to make life worse for you. Then you're truly not living what's the best life for yourself. And if that is you with drug or alcohol addiction, see a therapist, see a psychiatrist, go to a mental health hospital, go to rehab, get treatment, and get stabilized so you can live a healthy, happy life. With treatment, medication, seeing a therapist regularly, talking with him or her through all your problems and helping you resolve them and problem solve them. Listen and do what they say. If you don't listen and do what they say, you're paying them a free check for nothing. And if you want to pay them a valuable check that you reap the benefit of, you will listen and ask them questions and listen to what they tell you, taking actions during the time you're not seeing them to do what they tell you to do. Whether it's better coping, it's seeing another doctor, it's getting somewhere else of your own place to live, it's getting a job, whatever it is. But we all want better lives, and we have to first start by finding people we trust and listening to them. But when it's something that is not impairing your health or quality of life, and it's the example I gave of like your dad complaining about your decision in life, say going or not going to college, or what kind of job you work. Well, if you enjoy what you do, you can keep working that job and it's no matter to him. You don't have to weigh in his opinion. You want to reserve your time, focus, and energy for what matters to you. For me, that's my writing. That's my podcasting on YouTube. That's helping other people with mental health. But that's what I reserve my time and energy for. But it's also reserving time and energy for my own mental health when I talk about things like working out at the gym and journaling or finding fulfillment, which is something we go over in Mondays on the joy of missing out, which is finding our calling, our purpose in life. Lots of that studies about on Mondays. And for those of you who are new to joining me on Meetup or YouTube, I'm going to have someone that may go by the nickname C-Snap or just be known as Mayaka that's going to join, and she's going to help lead the Monday show on the joy of missing out. She was the one that introduced me to that book, so I decided to onboard her but she accepted the offer and to allow her to bring all the knowledge she has about it to you, just like she did to me. And that's one example of how I was working on my own mental health and not just being an advocate for everybody else. And you have to do the same. Work on your own health, whether it's physical, medical, mental, work on all of it. And not just put everything into your work or taking care of family, but take care of yourself. If you don't take care of yourself, no one else will. And in the lectin theory, they're talking about focusing on creating the life that you want and using your time and energy where you choose to use it. The better you learn to let people be themselves, you will feel better and use your time and energy for what matters to you and what you want to do with your life and time. Time will keep passing whether you use it the way you want or the way other people want to use it. That's the key. How do you want to use it? The way you want or the way other people want? Do you really need to let comments from family ruin your day? Or holiday, that you give too much attention to what other people think that you forget to live the life and spend the time you have the way you want? Why are you stressed now about other people and their problem? Don't. Just let them. That's their problem, not yours. You only have to worry about yourself or your family, that's your kids or spouse. That's all you have to worry about. Unless there's other people that are dependent on you, like you have a disabled family member or a retired low-income family member. But those are the only people you should really worry about. Those are your responsibility. Say let them every time someone tries to stress you out. Say let them every time a problem tries to stress you out. And instead focus on what you can control to resolve or find a solution that works and matters to you. And that's where we're going to leave it. We want to focus on what works and matters to us and whatever problem life throws. But we do not want to worry about focusing on other people and their problems. We are the only ones who will look after ourselves. Thank you, everybody, for joining and tuning in. Please be sure to like, subscribe, and share. If you want to look it up, you go on meetup.com and look for Mental Health Mentor, where you can join my group and also follow me on there, as well as subscribing on YouTube and social media, wherever you found us. And either way, this is 3:30 Central, Monday through Thursday, that I have some kind of show like this. Now tomorrow is Wednesday. Since I was talking about that I'm going back to college and I'm starting in about 3 weeks. I'm working on enrolling in a class and doing some paperwork. So tomorrow, Wednesday, that's the 30th, I may not be able to do my show. But depends if somebody else has already reserved a spot. If so, I'll move my school to a different date and have the show. But if no one else has reserved, then I'm going to skip tomorrow to focus on school. But thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you again, if not tomorrow, then Thursday.